And I guess I'll send this last Cavern of Souls into combat for billions of damage. Oh my goodness. That worked disgustingly better than expected. And welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and it's the early access event for Avatar: The Last Airbender coming to Magic: The Gathering Arena. We're celebrating with a really exciting and powerful ally strategy that brings together some of your favorite characters from the show, starting with Aang at the Crossroads. This is a 3/3 flyer, and when it enters, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you look for a creature card with mana value 4 or less from among those, and you put it onto the battlefield. Then you put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Now, whenever another creature leaves the battlefield, it creates a delayed trigger on Aang at the Crossroads that transforms at the beginning of the next upkeep into the Aang Destined Savior. This is a 4/4 Avatar ally with flying that gives land creatures you control vigilance, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to Earthbend 2. So how do you best abuse a card like this? By casting and blinking it over and over and over. So aside from our ally strategy, we're also going to utilize a bunch of blink effects to make sure that we get more out of Aang at the Crossroads. So if you use Aang at the Crossroads to hit a Charming Prince, you can exile Aang at the Crossroads, which then returns to the battlefield at the end step, which then triggers again, looks deeper in the deck, might hit another Charming Prince, might hit another ally that we want to play that we'll get into soon. But we need mana to do that because 5 mana is a good chunk. So we have 4 copies of Llanowar Elves, 4 copies of Badger Mole Cub. This new mythic terrifies me. It's 1 and a green for a 2/2 that when it enters, Earthbends 1. Earthbending is putting a +1/+1 counter on a land that you control and turning it into a creature with haste. Now, when that creature dies or is exiled, you return it to the battlefield tapped, which is important because normally animating your lands gets you in trouble. If those die to removal spells, you don't get them back. But now you do with Earthbending. And the Badger Mole Cub has another line of powerful text. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, like your Earthbended land, it's now a creature. You get 1 additional green. So right away, you make, for this 2 mana 2/2, you make another creature and it taps for double mana. And if anything happens to it, it comes back. That's really good, but it also makes your Llanowar Elves tap for additional mana. So the ability to use these mana sources and get double mana out of them makes it pretty easy to play Aang on turn 3 if you just have multiple copies of these cards. To help out as well, you are in fact a flying Aang at the Crossroads. So we have Momo. The Momo friendly flyer is 1 white for a flying, and the first non-lemur creature spell with flying you cast during your turn costs 1 less. So this also reduces Aang cost. Another way to play Aang at the Crossroads and start blinking it on turn 3. Whenever another creature with flying enters, Momo gets an additional +1/+1. We also have the playful pet version of Momo to get some value. A 1/1 flying vigilant creature that, when it dies or leaves the battlefield, maybe from blinking or airbending, gives you some value in a food token, a +1/+1 counter on a creature, or you can scry 2. The South Pole Voyager, we're just adding up the ally value here. At 1 and a white, this 2/2 gains you a life whenever this creature or another ally enters. But if you get allies to enter multiple times in a turn, you also get to draw a card the second time it resolves. So when you play an Aang that hits another ally, the South Pole Voyager can trigger and draw you a card while gaining you life to keep the aggro decks from beating you up. Now, it wouldn't be a really good deck if we didn't interact with our opponent in some ways. But we have Ty Lee, Chi Blocker. This is a 2/1 flash prowess. And since we're an all creature deck, the prowess isn't very important. But when this enters, you tap up to 1 target creature and it doesn't untap for as long as you control this ally. And blinking it, of course, can also reset who it's tapping and when. Angswift Savior lets you airbend spells or creatures. So this is our other form of interaction in the deck that's incredibly powerful. I think you'll see this card all over the place. And we can double up on those effects with Katara the Fearless. This says if the triggering ability of an ally you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. Airbend 2 spells, spells, tap down 2 creatures, gain 2 life per ally, etc., etc. When Momo leaves, you get double of whatever you chose here. When the flying ability, the +1/+1 triggers when a flyer enters, this gets double +1/+1 if Katara's on board. Katara is, of course, an Aang favorite to fetch, and we will be looking for her in these games. But another Aang favorite is Appa, the Steadfast Guardian. This is a 3/4 flash flyer that also, again, flying, so Momo helps make it cheaper. And when it enters, airbend any number of other target non-land permanents you control. It can save your board from a devastating effect of some kind, or just reset your value pieces so you can do them some more. And whenever you cast a spell from exile, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. More ally triggers can be more life, more card draw, etc. And finally, topping off Team Ally here, Team Avatar, Hakoda Selfless Commander is a 3/5 vigilant human warrior ally that lets us look at our top card anytime, and we can cast our ally spells from the top of the deck. Also, you can sacrifice this to give your whole board +0/+5 and indestructible. So if you're playing Aang at the Crossroads and you're afraid your opponent's about to board wipe you, look for Hakoda, because this can save you. Honestly, this is a very powerful deck running a lot of lands that can make a lot of different colored mana because we are a Bant deck. But we also get uncounterability out of Cavern of Souls. We can reuse some of our Enters abilities with Urban Retreat. And the new Jasmine Tea Shop lets us make ally creature tokens while also giving us mana to cast allies. It is a wild deck, and I think you'll be impressed by the power level. So let's not mess around anymore. Let's dive in. Let the allied nonsense begin. Ali Eldrazi, always prepared to rumble. Well, we've got a turn 2 Badger Mole Cub into Hakoda, something like that. Yeah, we can keep. How many caverns is too many caverns? Well, there is blue mana over there, so that's something. So all of our allies are blue, so we can name green or white with this. I think we'll name white. Then play the Cub. Earthbend the Verge, I think. Although I guess there is flexibility. If I play the Cub and Earthbend the Passage, when it comes back, I could turn it into something else. So that does give us the flexibility to rename our passage. What if I play Cavern of Souls and named ally Ali Eldrazi? Uncounterable Selfless Commander has vigilance. I may look at the top card and play allies from the top. Oh my. I can also give my creatures +0/+5 and indestructible. I don't know what's going on. I'm just not going to attack. I'm going to be patient. I smell a trap. Okay, it's just some star charts are being consulted. It's fine. But I am prepared for Day of Judgment or Ultima because I have this Selfless Commander. And this taps for 2 mana. So next turn we could Aang. Uncounterable Aang. We could play Appa from the top with Flash. We can hit Appa with Aang. Oh my goodness. Let's just go to work. Deck is working very well so far. So the Salvation Swan can flicker the Cub. Aang has flying, so can't flicker that. Let's get Appa, the Steadfast Guardian, who is going to airbend any number of permanents I control. I don't even think I need any right now, if I'm being real. Although, if I make something leave, Aang will trigger on end step. So let's target the Cub. Ooh. All right. Attack with vigilance. Still worried about something. What you doing over there, Ali? You better do something. I'm going off. How many colors do you need? Apparently there's still black missing. All right, transform. We are now a 4/4 flyer. Lands have vigilance. At the beginning of combat on my turn, I earthbend 2. That's pretty good. Ancient Cornucopia can gain life. Verge, sure. Draw. We got Voyager on the top. We got Badger Mole Cub, which makes these tap for an additional 2. I think I will name... I'm gonna name Mole. Oh, I love this game. All right, here's my cub. That's gonna make an ally. Now I can earthbend another land. I think I'm just going to earthbend this Verge. Go to combat, earthbend again, this cavern, and get him. Because guess what's available? Like Sasha's Bargain. That's a lot of life. But I think we just hold up the Swift Savior into their turn. Right now these tap for double though. Oh my gosh. I can play the South Pole Voyager. And all these can gain indestructible? Down to 6. This game is crazy. So if I tap for white, this one named ally. This taps for white. White, blue plays you as long as the cub is here because it adds an additional green. All right, so white, Voyager. Ta-da, I gain a life. If I had played that... Okay, the other card I played was the cub. But if I had played that first and then Appa from Exile triggered to make the 1/1 ally, I would have also drawn a card. But then I wouldn't have attacked with this Verge. But I could have put the counter on something else. Okay, lots to figure out with the earth-bending conundrum we're in. It looks like Ollie is trying to cast Jeskai Revelation, which is a very powerful card. But we still have indestructibility for the whole team on board. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of life and some kind of interaction. So here's double Cornucopia. Let that be. Into Firelord Azula. It's a lot of life. Okay, that's the last play this turn, yeah? So we can go like this. And we can target a spell on the stack. And now it's 12 damage, so it should be attack and get the W. And I guess I'll send this last Cavern of Souls into combat for billions of damage. Oh my goodness. That worked disgustingly better than expected. We're on the draw, but we have a land of our elves. Keep. So many mana options. I guess I'll lead with starting down. Blue, white. Control. Tempo. Something. Air Nomad Legacy. When it enters, create a clue. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. That is so many lands. I mean, I guess we go like this. That does ramp. And could come out next turn. They're trying to draw land themselves, perhaps? Katara. 1 blue open. All right. Let's go to the crossroads. Top 4. Mana value 4 or less. Yep, let's get Hakoda to protect Aang with indestructibility in case this is Day of Judgment type stuff. And they pass. Okay, open mana. What could it mean? The ability of an ally triggers. I don't have... I guess I have this that I could flash in. So let's set up for that. Let's play you and Katara. Yep, that leaves up good mana. I would like double triggers in the future. The prowess on Ty Lee isn't going to be used too often. I can promise you that. There it is. When this enters, tap a creature. It doesn't untap for as long as you control this. All right, so a 3/4. That's going to target here, which I could sack to give indestructibility, but instead I'll bring out Ty Lee and we'll lock down Aang, returning Hakoda to hand and triggering Aang to turn into a 4/4 and hitting for 3. And now we're unlocking the Destined Savior. So our land creatures will have vigilance, and I earthbend 2 before my combat. But the opponent is thinking about making a play now. We're tempoing the tempo. Haha. Okay, mana up. Think we're tapping the Llanowar Elves. I don't really want to attack with it here. Let's play the Selfless Commander. Any response? That's a lot of land. But I believe I get double trigger here, so let's put this out. I'll go with white mana. And I will turn on the starting town and the urban retreat. Earthbending my more effective lands. And now this is where we wonder about, will they play another Aang, flash it in, bounce one of these, kill this. I guess we can sack Hakoda for the indestructibility. Or we can let this one go. We have another Crossroads Aang to play. Let's go like this. We don't want you to get interrupted with. Actually, let's just plan to sack. Let's just sack the Selfless Commander and go for max damage. Let's do that. Because then we can play Aang at the Crossroads afterwards and get possibly double triggers. Should be double triggers off Katara. And get these lands off the top of our deck. Yep. More Aang. Target. Destined Savior. Sure. So now that only cost me 2 mana. Aang, no, not Katara. You love Katara. All right. Indestructible. Can just play this right now. If I hit a Badger Mole Cub, I can play another one. Double triggers. There's a cub. Oh, yeah. So now that taps for double. And now another Savior. Airbend you. And I guess I'll airbend you because I can play you again. Oh my goodness. Something left my battlefield. We could play this and double trigger again. Why not? Why not? This is a bit much. Let's get another Selfless Commander. Oh, I should have taken the Charming Prince, but it's okay. Our Selfless Commander will make sure our board is fully intact next turn. Yeah, that's those are all triggers of turning Aang into the Destined Savior. Oh my gosh, this board is wild. We can even waterbend to transform this Aang, but that's a little unnecessary at this point. Double triggers. Too much power. Oh my goodness. I mean, if we get to cast Aang, any of the Aangs really, but Aang at the Crossroads, this deck seems to pop right off. On the draw, but Llanowar Elves, including mana to cast Katara, and see what happens after that. Aang Charming Prince Katara could earthbend a lot of cards, but the opponent's going straight to the Earth and Ally. This is a card I didn't put in my deck. But I thought about it. It can be a 1-mana 5/2 if you end up with all the colors. Protectors, another target ally gains indestructible, more protectors. Okay. And the opponent is off to the races. We're a bit behind. It's a pretty good draw though. I think I just want to hold up Aang Swift Savior. Although running out Katara is interesting, right? Because then Aang becomes... You know what? Let's just pass. You know what? No. Ah, this doesn't work with Aang because of the green mana. Okay, yeah, we're gonna use the Swift Savior here. Indestructible is not hexproof. Also a tea shop enjoyer. Just you attacking. Let's see if this resolves. I bet they're running 4 of this card as well. All right, let's try ambushing this ally. And if they want to play this ally, it's going to cost him 2. Now, they could have sacked that in response, right? Let's see if they have a trick here. Okay, they use this one. Yeah. If I'm them, I'm sacking that Earth Kingdom Protector so I didn't have to recast it. Okay, missing a little bit on land, but here's Katara. Is a 3/3. Let's try turning the tables and being aggressive. Because if we start double triggering Aang... Whoa, Avatar Aang. Yikes. When does this trigger? Okay, we have to get rid of this card, which means Aang double triggered will do the job. Oh, we have another trick for that though, which is Charming Prince. So if we play Momo Playful Pet and Charming Prince, exile this Aang, pass the turn, double triggers, earthbend these. It sets them back, but they have the mana to recast. We're going to need to do better at some point, because Avatar Aang is going to draw a card whenever they waterbend, earthbend, firebend, or airbend, and then potentially transform. Tap starting town, worst feeling. So this could waterbend into a 5/5. Right? We're in that range. When it leaves the battlefield, advantages. This 4/4 is a real problem. How do we navigate you? let's see. I offer you these. Do you want to block? I don't have great tricks. Okay, so they do block there. I was really hoping they wouldn't. Pass the turn, use Aang again. Yep. Hope to get them to use some mana before they go to combat, because then maybe they can't just recast this again. Or maybe we wait. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to wait for them to take another action. Earthbending is 7. They don't have that. But when they add, and it's Earthbend 5, so it's a big Earthbend. So when they Earthbend, 1, 2, 3, 4, they might make a 5/5. In response, I can Aang, bounce this Aang. It is creature. Okay. And the Earthbended land. So that's a draw. I believe when I airbend an animated land, they have to pay 2 again to put it out. They're gonna hit me. Do I want the scry? No, not yet. I'm at 10, but it's okay. It's okay, hang in there. Now if I let the ability resolve, they get to draw another card, but right now tempo is more important. So manual taps, because they want to hit the untapped land. Uh-huh. So there's the trigger. And now we Swift Savior. Going down to 5, so it's very risky out here. But we're going to send these cards away. And this should set up a reasonable counterattack. Try to swing the tempo. Pass is over. We get a breeding pool. How good is that? It's not that good, but we have a pretty good combat. Yep, let's play the Selfless Commander. Land is on top, of course it is. Now let's turn around and attack the opponent. And we have no blocks. Down to 7. And hopefully this keeps us alive. But we've turned it into a very close game. A way to blink the Aang. Some way to break through here would be very good. They replay Avatar Aang. Another Earthen ally, so another 4/2. That's a lot. And a united front to make them all even bigger. Oh my. Well, is there combat here? None. Big draw. We found our lands. It's a little bit late. I mean, we can clear the top of our library if they don't block Momo. That's our big trick. Otherwise, it's going to be a wild combat step. Or we could just leave up mana. We can also transform you. You become a 5/5 reach trample. I can do that at instant speed, yes? Interesting. I can also save a tapped creature with Urban Retreat. So I could attack... What if I attack with Aang? Oh, only as a sorcery. So it would have to survive combat, which this could let it do. But if I bounce the Aang, play the Aang again, Airbend Avatar Aang, that's pretty powerful. Oh my. Oh my, 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 my. I can do that flash speed. Okay. Here we go. This is crazy. I can replay Aang at flash speed. And I would have to sack Hakoda to have it be indestructible. So I can also send you, but these 1/1 counters make the Charming Prince bad. So we do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this game's sweaty. This is a tough one. We're planning to sacrifice Selfless Commander, use Urban Retreat to pick Aang back up to our hand, and then cast it. They're gonna block Katara. Which means they're letting 3 points of damage through. I could let the Katara die, but that would be very bad. Or I could try to get them to sack the Earth Kingdom Protectors. It's very close. The priority is on them. If they don't sack the Earth Kingdom Protectors now, and they don't, which is smart. Now, so I'm pretty sure we gotta do this. Down to 4. This makes white, blue. Yep. All right. Urban Retreat. Return Aang. And if we airbend Aang at the right time, but if my opponent draws their own Aang, we're in big trouble. So if we airbend the Aang now, I think they can't beat us straight up. I think if we pass to them and they have open mana and they have their own Avatar Aang, which I'm sure is in their deck, then I think they can win. So let's send these back. What a game. Sweaty. Sweaty game. Allies fighting allies out here. Cavern of Souls. Aang at the Crossroads. Okay, every time I've resolved this card, I feel like I've won easily. Let's see what happens here. This is terrifying. Another Earthen Ally. Okay, I feel like that could have been a lot worse. And then the other Aang. How do I break through? I have to draw one more Aang Swift Savior, but we know our top card. I don't think we have it. Oh, that would let me sack. That would let me scry with the Momo. That would let me scry with the Momo. Ah, I found it. Curses. Okay. I think I have to play this and absorb their next attack. I think that's my only real option, which I don't know if I can do that. Oh my gosh, the amount of lands we've drawn here is getting extreme. Man, I mean, we made the most of it with the Urban Retreat, but down the stretch, we've just drawn too many lands. I don't think we can get them now. I think we're going to lose. Yeah, I don't know if I can beat this. I guess we're still a Swift Savior away from getting there in the air, because we can Water Bend Aang Swift Savior. Which, by the way, we're only 1 mana short of right here. Yep, here comes the passage. That will also draw a card. But can't I block all of this and survive? Let's find out. Avatar Aang. Ooh, this is a tough attack too, because they know I trigger the Momo. Firebending, draw a card. 2 red mana that lasts through combat. We can block here, like this. I'm pretty sure this won't work. If this is a 5/5, and it attacks, I put a +1 on each, and it has trample. Is that enough? Because it would double trigger. These would... is each ally I control, each tapped creature. So these would all get counters except for the Selfless Commander, because it doesn't tap. So here's the thing. I can make 2 foods and transform Aang. Or I can double scry and try to hit the thing that wins the game. Double food. Then they block here. They take 2 because this is a 5/5 that becomes a 7/7. Wait, that should be lethal. Okay. Food. Food. Okay. We're still in combat. The mana dissipates. Here comes the Earthen Ally. Waterbend. Here it is. We're transforming into the Ocean's Fury. And I think I just attack. Oh, you don't fly anymore. Oh no. What have I done? Do have reach, but not vigilance. You have trample. Oh no. What have I done? You don't fly anymore. I don't think I have a choice. I think I have to attack. I'm just dead in the air. Oh wait, I'm at 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I guess the indestructibility can help get the job done. So might as well send it. Okay, let's go. We're gonna try it. Maybe the food can still get me out of this. They have to absorb plenty from Ocean's Fury. It's going to be indestructible. And then they still have to block Katara and the Charming Prince. I could have attacked with the Llanowar Elf. But I can't give the Llanowar Elf indestructible, right? No, it is creatures I control. Okay. Oops. They want to force me to sack a Coda. Yep, there's a lot of damage to absorb, but that will transform this Aang, which does still have flying. Which is very bad for me. No, it won't transform Aang if Aang blocks. Oh wait, they can sack the Earth Kingdom Protectors and keep that Aang. Yes, they can. My gosh, this is close. This is a tricky attack. They still haven't assigned a blocker to Katara, but they have to or they die. Yeah, I think I was supposed to attack with the Llanowar Elves now. Too many mistakes. What a game. I was so shook. All right, dies, trades, does not trade, trades. Do I want to let an Earthen ally live and keep my Katara? I can just play another, well, keep my Charming Prince. I would rather have these two dead, I think. I'd rather have them dead, right? Okay, plus the protectors haven't been used here. So let's see. Okay, that won't matter, I don't think. Targets the Earthen ally, which is blocking Katara. I can play another Katara and still have the mana to sack the food. That's going to be indestructible anyway. I think we want this trade. Okay. Keep this one. Play this tapped. Go blue. Pass turn. Oh, man. Those are all triggers that don't really matter because that version of Aang has died. So now here's the question. You're at 2. Can you finish the job? If you go Earthbend, Earthbend, I still go Life, Life. The foods might still save us. Thinking. Oh my gosh, it's tense. It's so tense. That's it. Okay. That's a card. I guess they couldn't find it. I may as well eat a food just in case there's some kind of direct damage spell. It's pretty obvious what we're going to do. So I'm just going to do it before we take the damage in case there was some kind of direct damage. Go to 7. Not again! Why couldn't I draw that card? Okay, Earthbend, other things you control. You can Earthbend Aang and recast it, and that would trigger Aang at the crossroads to transform. But instead, nothing. So there must be something else to cast. Great Divide Guide, ally. Each land and ally has tap for a mana of any color. So there's still mana up. We just have to hope it's not very good. We've got to go for it. There's nothing left for us to do here. But this does let us Earthbend this starting town so that we can attack with everything, put counters on them twice, and hope that we dialed up enough pressure that they can't just win the game. They're at 2 facing a 9/9 trample after all. No! Swift Savior didn't save us. Oh. You got it. You win. My plan's all there. You can... They can't airbend this one because if they do, I can recast the Swift Savior and double trigger it. Yep, that's a lot of block. Well, I'm not necessarily dead on the crackback right now, am I? Not if I kill the 5/5, but the Earthen Ally can awaken another land. That should be enough. I don't know. I think we have to take out the 5/5. Man, so close. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, maybe I'm just at 1 right now. No, they can just airbend this. Oh, but then it... Okay. Yeah, that works. You got it. Okay, they're still procrastinating. They're still dirtling. You got it. You win. I'm done. Oh my gosh.